In this second video, I'm going to kind of explain the role of the National Guard, what benefits we have, and if it might work for you. So believe it or not, you can join the National Guard as a junior in high school. The requirement is that you are 17 years of age or older. To kind of explain this best, I'm going to put you in the shoes of someone who had just joined the National Guard. So let's take yourself. Say you joined tomorrow, which is impossible, but hypothetically, let's say it happened. We would first go over what jobs that you would qualify for and possibly like to do. You, at the end of the day, are the one to tell us what jobs it is that you are interested in. One of the big misconceptions with the National Guard is that all we do is shoot guns and kick down doors. In general, with all military, I think that's kind of what people think. However, that is not true. There is many career fields within the National Guard. Things like legal jobs, medical jobs, flight jobs, engineering, communications, and much, much more. The National Guard has a wide variety of career fields, and some that you might even be looking into on the civilian side. So you've come to us, you found a job that you'd like to do, and we get you the job, and you join the National Guard. What you would be doing as a junior or senior in high school is conducting 1 weekend a month drills with us, a Saturday and a Sunday, typically about 16 hours of work. This is called the Recruit Sustainment Program. And what it is, basically you'll receive training from us as your trainers about the National Guard and the basics. You'll get your uniform, you'll get a paycheck. It'll be really kind of a fun and dynamic environment. Students in the National Guard all around your local area are going to be attending this Recruit Sustainment Program drill. Everyone from Minnetonka, Prior Lake, Shakopee, you name it, the schools in this area are going to be conducting drill at the Bloomington Armory. If you've ever been to Normandale, it's directly across the street from Normandale. A typical weekend, we'd start a Saturday at 8 a.m., conduct some sort of physical training. Usually that's a group run, some push-ups, some sit-ups. And then we'll provide some useful training. A lot of the times you can expect some financial classes on how to manage money. Other times you can expect first responder classes on how to provide CPR or certain medical responses to individuals in need. Other days, we like to just have fun by playing dodgeball, kickball, or you name it.
Watch out for Staff Sergeant Crow.
The main priority of drill is to at least make sure you're healthy, you're doing well in school, and that everything is okay so far. You would leave at Saturday around 3 p.m., come back on Sunday the same time, 8 a.m. Sunday would be a very much similar day. You'd spend the time training and we'd do some cool activities, and then you'd leave shortly after around 1 to 2 p.m. that day. From that point on, you would receive a paycheck, and that is your drill weekend complete.
Pretty simple, right?
You would continue doing this as a junior or a senior until the school year ends. Now, if you're a junior, you would go to basic training between your junior and senior summer. Basic training is 9 weeks long, and what you're going to do there is simply learn the basics of the military. Everyone has to go to it, and I'm sure some of you have seen videos related to basic training. However, I would like you to know that basic training itself isn't that scary. A lot of movies and videos portray it as something a lot worse than what it actually is. The main idea behind basic training is that you're getting the skills down necessary to be a soldier, so that you know how to talk on a radio, do land navigation with a map, and you can do the basic things like shoot a rifle and throw a grenade and put on your uniform. This is kind of the introduction to the military in general. It'll give you the skills to at least format yourself as a soldier and be welcomed within the National Guard. As a junior, once you've finished basic training, you will collect a paycheck that's pretty hefty, come back to school for your senior year, and then you'll conduct the Recruit Sustainment Program once a month, again through your senior year. Now at this point, you've been trained on all you need to know in basic training. So, where you were a trainee the year prior during your junior year, you would now be a trainer, training individuals coming into the National Guard that were in your shoes the year prior. You'll do that through your senior year, and once you graduate your senior year and finish high school, you'll go to your job training. So this part is individual to what job you chose to do. Some jobs last 5 weeks long, some jobs last 16 weeks long. It just kind of depends on the job you chose. What you'll be doing during this job training, however, is learning the very specifics to what job you chose. So if you were a truck driver, for those weeks that you were at training, you would be specifically learning how to drive a truck, how to operate, how to fix, and kind of everything around that area that you would need to know to successfully do that job. This environment during your job training is a little different than basic training. You'll have a lot more time to yourself, and you'll be expected to use your responsibility to finish assignments and write papers. It is very much structured like a college course where you'll have your own dorm room and you'll have classroom hours like a typical day. Once you come back from your job training, you are now in the National Guard as a job qualified soldier. So for your 1 week in a month and your 2 weeks in the summer, you would then just conduct the job you chose. So in the instance I gave where it was a truck driver, you would be a truck driver for that 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer, driving and training on those vehicles. If you were a cook, you'd be cooking on that Saturday and Sunday and learning how to manufacture meals for your whole platoon. Now, if you were a senior, your time frame would look a little bit different. If you enlisted during your senior year and you graduated high school, you would go to basic training and then directly after your job training. Whereas if you enlisted as a junior, you would go to basic training during your junior and senior summer and then come back to school and then go again to your job training following your senior year. Either way, you end out the same end doing 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer, whatever job it is that you chose to do. Now, in doing that with the National Guard, you're obviously going to get a couple benefits. We don't just do this for free. So one of the biggest benefits that we provide you as a soldier in the National Guard is obviously school reimbursement. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's kind of a big thing here in the National Guard, and we take pride in getting our soldiers degrees. It helps us and it helps you guys. So to kind of go down some of the financial benefits, I'll briefly explain them for you to kind of understand. First of all, there is the Montgomery GI Bill. So you'll make an extra $396 a month from just being a full-time student in school. We consider a full-time student 12 credits or more per semester. So not only will you be making about $200 to $250 cash for that 1 week in a month, but on top of that, will be thrown almost $400 directly deposited into your bank account to spend on whatever you need. Now, with that, we also pay for your school. So we want you to kind of help make ends meet while you're going to school because we are funding your education. Thus, we give you that stimulus to kind of spend money where you need it versus working a part-time job. We will pay $18,000 a year for your tuition. Simply by doing 1 week in a month with us and 2 weeks in the summer, you'll get those benefits. If you decide to further your education, we'll pay $36,000 a year for your tuition. Here's the catch. You need to do one thing in school to get all of these benefits, and I think it's pretty fair. We ask that you get a C- or above in your classes. So what that means is if you get an A, a B, and then you fart out a D in one of your classes, we'll pay for your A and your B, but you would be responsible for the D. So as long as you're scoring C- or above, you'll be good and we'll cover everything. Now you might be asking, where can I use these benefits? These are not specific to any school. You can go anywhere in the United States and receive these benefits with the Minnesota National Guard. That being said as well, you might be thinking, what if I want to go to school to California State University? That's fine. There's a National Guard in every state and territory, as Specialist Smith had mentioned. So if you were going to school in California, you would then switch to the California National Guard and conduct your service out there. Still receiving benefits, still getting paid. Now, I would like to cover that this isn't for everyone. This job, this career field is something that is very exclusive to a certain type of person. A person who wants to serve their community, a person who wants to advance their career, and a person who wants a great job resume. One of the things I forgot to mention was that this will create a quality resume for you. It'll give you some quantifiable numbers to throw on your job resume and really shock an employer. In my service, I once signed a tank under my name to use for the field. When I did this, I was basically taking responsibility for that sum of money. So on my resume, I has handled $17 million worth of equipment. I also have led hundreds of soldiers. So I have on my resume that I've led or managed over 100 soldiers to a successful mission. These are just some examples of quantifiable numbers that a business can look at and see, wow, he's actually had some experience. He or she has had some experience in this career field. So if you were an individual to go get a 4-year degree at school, I highly encourage it. In fact, I almost would say it's a necessity in this current day and age. Now, you may have gotten a 4-year degree at this point, or maybe you even went to a trade school and got a certificate. But at the other end of that, what is going to separate you from your peers is simply experience. So if you can quantify some eligible experience on a resume along with that certificate or degree, you're going to go miles further than the individual to your left or right. So to sum it up, the National Guard is a state-funded organization that works for the state of Minnesota. We work 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer. Our primary role is to support Minnesota itself and provide any sort of aid that we can. In working 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer with us, you will get some pretty sweet benefits. We'll pay you the Montgomery GI Bill, which is $396 added on top of what you're already making per drill, as well as we'll pay $18,000 a year for your tuition. These are some very simple tasks to do, and quite frankly, serving under 48 days a year, you can't beat that. And the experience that you build here in the National Guard is going to be a lot more quantifiable at the end of the day than working a part-time job somewhere else. Once again, this isn't for everybody, but please, I would ask you to consider maybe the military and ask yourself, is it worth your time? Could you see yourself in uniform? And do you think that the National Guard could help you? At this time, there's a link provided. It includes a small survey. If you could please fill out this survey to let us know how we did. This is a new experience for all of us, the virtual training thing. So we're trying it, we're giving it a shot. Let us know what you think on the survey. The link will be provided. Most of all, Prior Lake, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful week.